I've gone red again. That settles it. I am buying a new camera next chance I get. That's better. Not perfect, but it's better. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and start the game. We are doing a how-to beat honor mode playthrough. We've already leveled up our characters to level 3. We have completely respect, and we are now going to enter the Emerald Enclave proper and talk to everyone that we need to there. Our goals are to save all the tieflings, although being honor mode, that is no way guaranteed. Very first thing that we're going to do to start this off, though, is we're going to talk to everyone again. When we left off in the last stream, we had just collected Will and Karlach, but we didn't get a chance to talk to them yet, just to expand on the story a little. And of course, we'll touch base with all of our other characters just to make sure that there's nothing new that they have to say. So Shadowheart's good to go. We're going to go check on Astarion.
I knew we were a strange band, but a fugitive from the hills? Now that's someone worth knowing. Not that I want to get on the wrong side of any devils, but this Karlach is a survivor. Plus, I appreciate anyone who opens a conversation with threats of bodily harm.
Me too, Astarion. Me too.
Why are we slowing down?
How did you end up fighting in the Blood War?
Trust me, I'll tell you all about it after we take care of the goons on my tail.
Okay, but in your expert opinion, what's the best way to kill a devil?
Depends on the type. Ice devils hate an inferno, but that's an easy one. Orthons love projectiles. What they don't love is getting their bombs lobbed right back in their faces. Demons, on the other hand, every demon is absolutely singular. You can't ever think you've got them typed out. Sharp instincts, sharp weapons, and a knack for improvisation. That's the only way to survive them. Anyway, what were we talking about?
This isn't where I thought I'd end up. How about you?
Funny you should ask. I was just thinking about what would have become of us without that Nautiloid. I mean, I know where I'd be. Trapped in Avernus still, with the Blade of Frontiers on my tail. But what about you?
I've a condition I need to manage, and I'd still be looking for a cure.
We have more in common than I knew. I won't pry for details. Right now, at least.
About those paladins you want us to confront.
Yeah, let's go straight there. Whatever those fucks are getting up to, it's nothing good. Just to say, by the way, they're not really paladins. Lackeys of the Archdevil playing dress-up as paladins of Tyr. No honor among devils.
Karlach's got the brawn of a warrior and the wiles of a survivor. Best of all, she speaks her mind plainly and fully. Show her due respect.
Are you sure a creche is our only path to a cure?
Entirely. I was as devoted to my studies as I was to my training. Each creche contains a Zaithisk purification device. So I learned from the writings in the Kalir Library. The library was a gift from Vlaakith herself, that we may gain total understanding.
That kind of wisdom is very valuable.
Countless scholars roam the astral sea and beyond, observing the ways of our lessers, exploring planes so distant order turns to chaos and cold fires rage. The planes are ever quaking, and their peoples ever shifting. The Githyanki possess an eternity of knowledge. Yet we still collect more. Infinities upon infinities.
How does the Blade of Frontiers end up chasing a devil in the hells?
Karlach's fires raged in Baldur's Gate before she escaped to Avernus, as my source told it, and she was planning to return. One of the archdevils Zariel's own, Chaos Incarnate, a devil with pure fire for a heart. I made my way to Avernus to stop her. She fled from my reach, even climbed aboard the Mind Flayer ship as it screeched through the hells. I followed in close pursuit. I can't bear to imagine the lives Karlach might be taking, the damage she might be doing.
This is so funny to me because Karlach is literally on the opposite side of the camp from him. And he's like, oh, I can't imagine the damage she must be doing right now. How many people she's killing. And she's just standing over there like, hey guys. Who exactly is this source of yours, by the way, Will?
A powerful friend with a keen interest in privacy. I'm sworn to say no more.
Then let's move on to other matters, shall we?
Anything more we should discuss?
Tell me, Will, how did you come to be the Blade of Frontiers?
My father once said, one does not pursue a champion's life. One merely answers its call. So it was for me. I was hunting near the Cloakwood when I heard it. A child crying out from a lone farmstead. I found him in the fields, flanked by goblins. His mother's corpse bled into the soil next to him. I don't remember much of the battle, but I remember drying the boy's tears after.
So what, and he named you the Blade of Frontiers?
No, but he named me friend, and that meant the world. But what of the others? The children never saved, the cries never heard. In the boy's tears, I finally saw the suffering wrought by the villains of the wild. The frontiers demanded a blade, and so I heeded.
And before that?
Baldur's Gate, born and raised, the only son of a single father. He wanted one life for me. I chose another. We haven't spoken since I left the city. A classic drama. A staunch father and his rebellious son. Better heard from the bard's lips than mine.
I've noticed your stone eye. How did you lose it in battle?
A most vicious one, in fact. It's made from pure bloodstone, carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. A reminder that sometimes blood must be shed and sacrifices must be made. But that story is reserved for lifetime friends and calmer days.
Pretty sure I read that incorrectly, but it's fine. Let's talk about something else.
By all means.
I don't suppose you've come across an expert healer in your travels.
I've come to know a fair few village clerics, but none with the skill to pull these worms from our heads. From what I understand, there's a healer called Nettie in the Grove. Perhaps she's got the talent. We should pay her a visit.
We're going to. That is everyone. Alright, so we're caught up on that. Let's take a nap. Because I'm noticing that yeah, let's take a nap.
One horn, the stink of Avernus, advocatus diaboli.
Well, I'll be God's damned. The Blade of Frontiers. Thought I'd shaken you for good. That'll teach me to underestimate you.
Karlach, the archdevil Zariel's gladiator, come to burn the Sword Coast to ash.
You've got it all wrong, Will. Karlach's not about to hurt anyone.
Well, not counting the fuckers that need a good hurting.
Shut it, devil. I know your kind. A heart darker than a shadow's nightmares. You'd cut a child's throat just to taste the blood.
A devil? I didn't take the blade for a fool. I'm...
A great fire roars through you. The fire of the first hell. You are Karlach, tearing through demons across a blood-red landscape of fire and volcanic cinder. The front lines of the Blood War. With every swing of her axe, Karlach fulfills Mistress Zariel's purpose.
Proof! Clear as summer sky. It's over, Karlach. It's time you feel the sting of the blade.
I've tried to tell you. I'm not what you think I am.
Another vision. Karlach's blade rays slicing through devils, Zariel's servants, as her eyes dart around, seeking escape. Will shudders with Karlach's desperation. She is a victim of the Blood War, not an agent of it.
By Balduran's helm, No, I will not be tricked.
You saw the truth. I may be an effective soldier, but I never wanted to serve Zariel. Legged it away from her the first chance I got.
And yet you served.
Stand down, Will. You saw what I saw. Karlach is not a danger.
Will catches his breath and his lips straighten. Sheer dread twists his face.
No! Devils cannot be trusted!
Again, make your own choices here, whatever you want to do. If you really want to fight Karlach, like I said, you do end up getting a really good piece of equipment. If you are really struggling and don't want to play with her, it might be worth it for you. Personally, I don't think it's worth it. I'm going to go ahead and smack Will down here. Gods, you're stubborn. Karlach's not a devil, and you know it.
Do you listen to sense? This doesn't have to end badly for either of us. You know monsters better than anyone. Can't you look in my eyes and see I'm not a devil?
You don't know what this means. You don't know what you're asking me to do.
I'm asking you to live, Will. I don't want to hurt you. And to be frank, I'd rather not find out how the blade got his name. I swear to you, on all I am not what you think.
Shit! Shit. Shit. You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Oh, thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
You would have died in the attempt. But there have been enough threats today.
Truce then, eh?
Aye. Truce. I see the good in you, Karlach. I promise not to lose sight of it. Even when the hells burn hottest.
It seems like Will and Karlach will play nice from now on. Saves us having to pick sides.
I'm just going to go and talk to everyone again just to see what they have to say about that. I just think it's super interesting. You don't have to do this. Feel free to skip this part.
Nothing like a little camp drama to spice up the evening. It's almost a pity things ended so amicably. Seeing those two duke it out would be fun.
I do agree. That would be a good time.
Glad Will saw sense. Even more glad he decided to stick around. Takes a pretty slick mover to track down old Karlach.
Does it, though? You're pretty loud.
Fair. But still, the man's got a reputation for being lethal with that blade. I'm glad it's on our side.
Good thing for Will that Karlach called a truce. A tiefling that mighty would shred him to pieces and burn the remains. Now, what did you need?
Every interaction that Lae'zel has with Karlach is just proof of her soft side. She has nothing but respect for Karlach, granted because she's a warrior, but that just goes to show you that, like, you can get on her good side.
You've been witness to a pantomime, I'm sorry to say. And I've played my part all too poorly.
Someone set you on Karlach's tail. I'd like to know who this source of yours is.
I can say only this. Karlach's not the only one who's had a villain's knife held to their throats. One night soon, when we make camp, the veil will be lifted, and I'll pay my penance.
Penance? Should I be worried?
You're not in any danger, I promise. I can't say the same about me.
Well, alright. Let's get some sleep. Throughout this playthrough, I will not be taking... well, I'll only be taking extended rests when I absolutely need to. Oh! We got Scratch already. Hey, buddy. Go ahead and pet that goodest boy. Steelyx. No. Don't need a repeat of the Fallout stream. We need his ball in order to summon him, but that's coming up here pretty soon. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start reading these at the end of the stream before I sign off for the night. That way I don't interrupt the flow. But then at the end of the stream, if you want to stick around and hear me read these, or on the YouTube videos, they'll be towards the back end of the videos as opposed to in the middle of them. I'm going to start doing that from now on, going forward. And you, without moving. And we'll go ahead and summon Quoth first. Give him Longstrider as well. As far as other buffs go... here we go. Warding Bond. The reason that I love Warding Bond is you grab it and you throw it on Astarion. As long as Karlach is raging, she has resistance against physical attacks, so Warding Bond's kind of wasted on her. But the Warding Bond for Astarion is going to make him take half damage from every source. Since Karlach and Astarion are our tanks, you want that on him at all times. This does mean that Shadowheart will take more damage because she takes 50% of the damage that Astarion would have taken. So you got to keep an eye on her health a little bit extra. But if you keep her kind of in the back lines or like middle ground, then she should be alright. Plus she's carrying all the potions and stuff, so it's easy to keep her alive. Lastly, you want to take her and cast Aid, which is going to increase everyone's HP, including Quoth's, which is excellent. Alright, so let's start by going over here. Talk to these three.
Hells! We can't just leave. They're kin!
I'll not gamble our lives, our futures, on people who are as good as dead. We must leave for Baldur's Gate at once.
Can we all just take a moment, please?
What's the point in blades and spells if we don't bloody use them? We should stay! These people aren't fighters. We can help!
Or yell louder. That's fine too.
So, this isn't really a spoiler warning, but just in case you don't want to hear it, feel free to mute for a little bit. Try to convince them to stay. if you can, if you want to have all the tieflings survive. If you tell them to leave, they're not there, and this is your spoiler warning, they're not there to protect them on the journey out of the camp. So try and either persuade them to stay. I haven't seen the ranger dialogue before, so I'm going to go ahead and take that one. I'd choose the wilderness over the dangers of a city any day. Stay.
What? The dangers of overpriced taverns and muddy streets? I think I'll take that risk.
The city's not going anywhere. I'm staying. We're needed here.
Zerg. Fine. We'll stay. If we survive, it'll make for a good story, I suppose.
Thank you, Roland.
That's pretty awesome, actually. So if you're a ranger, which if you follow along with this guide, then you will be, you won't even need to risk a roll trying to convince them to say. You just take that option. See, I'm not pretending to be an expert. There's things I'm still learning. I don't have speak with animals yet, do I?
That might be worth a look.
I do not. We're going to wait on that. Can go ahead and open that since Karlach just found it, which is excellent. Normally, if you talk to the bulls, they tell you to find this, which is neat. But obviously can't do that without speak with animals, so we'll go ahead and try to make one of those potions as soon as we possibly can. For now, let's go ahead and talk to Asherak.
I saw you at the gates. You fight well. A few words for the kids? Spare a story or two.
So you can tell them that they're all going to die, but it just disheartens them. I'm going to try and be a nice guy throughout this campaign, so be strong and watch over your kin. In trust, there is victory.
Thanks. I prefer when they smile.
Step, parry, strike, damn it! It's just not landing.
So you want to talk to this guy, and you want to help him learn how to fight as well. Similar reason to convincing Roland to stay. Interesting technique. Having some trouble.
Nothing but. Goblins in the wild, out for blood, and the druids in here looking to kick us out. Or worse. We need to be ready for a fight. But I'm useless with a sword.
You can do any one of these that you feel is necessary. Detect thoughts, if you want to use your scroll up right now, is fine. I'm going to go ahead and say, no wonder you're struggling. You've no balance. Space your feet further apart. And again, don't forget to use guidance on any rolls that you have.
I'll try and brace them better. Like so. Step, brace, parry, swing. Yes! You really know what you're doing. Found this by the road. Bet you'll put it to good use.
Keep training, man. In time, you'll make short work of any goblins.
Hopefully, it's just the goblins we have to worry about. The druids are treating us like vermin. But I'll keep at it. Thank you.
Oh, and one last thing. Don't shout out your moves like that. Spoils the surprise for your foe.
Oh, yes. I'll bite my tongue when the time comes.
Feel free to take all of these items right here if you need the extra cash, because this is not stealing. Anything that's, I mean, this should be a given, but anything that's yellow or white or cream, I guess, coloring, is not stealing. Red is stealing. Technically, breaking that lock is a crime, so try not to get caught if you decide to go in there that way. There's another way, though, that you won't get in trouble. We do need to go in there for something. Hold on. As long as you have her at level 3, feel free to go in there. And a free level 2 spell slot, which we actually do not have right now. Let's skip on that right now. That's going to be our exit. We'll head this way first. You can talk to these guys if you want.
We should have left by now. Damnation! Instead, we're just sitting here, practically begging to be attacked. Staying is a mistake.
Look, you're doing the right thing. The tieflings need your help.
And what about us? There's every chance we've doomed ourselves by helping these people. We will end up fodder for some goblin's blade, all because Leah insists on helping every wounded foe we see. Our best chance to make it to Baldur's Gate is on our own. This place is lost.
Why are you so eager to reach the city?
You are looking at Leroican's newest apprentice. Yes, that Leroican. The greatest wizard in Baldur's Gate.
You sound excited.
I've admired Leroican for years. Never dreamed he'd answer my letter. But I've worked myself to the bone for this. Few can match me in either magic or talent. The names Roland and Leroican will be known far and wide. You'll see.
You! Saw you fighting those slimy bastards. Fancy a bowl? Best to fill your belly now, while we still can.
Look, it ain't much, but it might make all the difference. The only way we'll make it to Baldur's Gate is to run, and run hard. If a gnoll catches your scent, you'll need every bit of strength. Trust me.
Not gonna steal anything from our buddy Damon here.
Thought I sensed an infernal around here. But you aren't from Elturel. What's your story?
I spent a good bit of time in the Hells. Enlisted against my will by the Archdevil Zariel. Same as you, I suppose, if you're from Elturel. The devils were delighted when your city was swallowed up. I thought they had you for keeps. Glad you got out.
I got lucky. It looks like you did too. And you brought some infernal machinery with you.
A little gift from Zariel. Keeps me burning hot.
Very hot by the smell of it. Might be burning out a piston ring or leaking oil. Mind if I take a listen?
Be my guest. But don't get too close or your eyes will melt shut.
Phew! You really are burning up. Whoever put that engine together tried to house metallurgized demono valves inside a Ragnak's alloy casement. Very risky. I might be able to help, but I'd need infernal iron. And a prayer that my hammer will survive the work. That thing isn't meant to operate outside of Ernest. I'm not sure how much longer it'll keep running the way it's going.
Will you be able to turn down the temperature a little? Worried I'm gonna go in for a handshake and singe someone's arm off one of these days.
I'd worry about surviving the night first. But help one, help both. If we can cool you off, it'll stabilize your engine and allow you to touch whomever you please.
Where should we look for some infernal iron?
I've sensed some during our travels. It has a pull to it. Absolutely magnetic, once you know what you're looking for. I can show you where I'd look.
We'll keep our eyes open for some iron.
Meanwhile, I've still got plenty of weapons and armor in stock if you're looking to load up.
Safeguard shield. Arguably the best thing that he has. The only good thing that he really has. Don't waste your money on the +1s or +2 items. You'll find them plenty in the wild. So we'll come back and buy the safeguard shield.
I miss my forge.
These 3 barrels, for some reason, you can steal from. A whole whopping potato. Nice. This is one of the few times I'm going to go ahead and make a potion before we get Buzzalump up to snuff, because we're pretty early in the game. I still haven't found any in the wild. We do want this skill for several reasons. What reminded me was this guy back here, this little rat running around.
Stay back, or else!
What's wrong? I love rats. I used to have pet rats.
Nothing's wrong. Just get back. Ow! Oh, my tooth!
Let me take a look, buddy.
It's the front one. I chipped it on the evil thing.
Were you trying to eat it?
Maybe. I didn't think it would bite me back. Wait. You're big. You can get rid of the evil thing. Follow me, but be ready for anything.
You don't actually have to do this, or talk to him. I mean, we're going to be going in there eventually anyways. He runs through that, the locked door right there. I just like rats. My little buddies.
If it ain't the fearless goblin slayer, you sure you want to be seen with me? I ain't exactly popular with this lot.
Look, all you did was stand up for your crew. I respect that.
Half my crew are full of holes. Now I'm gonna take the blame for leading the goblins here, and losing track of the bloody Druid.
Who's this Druid you lost track of?
Alson. He's a leader around these parts. Or was. We've got a contract to track down some relic, and he wanted in on the job. Eyes lit up when he heard about it. Didn't work out, though. Goblins got him when we were turning tail. He's either digging latrines or boiling in a cookpot by now.
Can I have a look at that contract?
Job's all yours, if you got a death wish. There's a wizard in Baldur's Gate that'll pay gobloads for a relic supposedly buried round these parts. But gold ain't any use if you're too cold to spend it.
Any idea what the relic actually is?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be back here with half my crew gone. But look, if you're itching to meet Kellenvor, I won't stop you. It's called the Night Song. Supposed to be hidden under the temple where the goblins jumped us. I'd give you the map and wish you a happy funeral, but my mate Brian kept hold of it like his own todger. Goblins made sure to the fat old chunk. All I've got's the contract. It'll show you where we turn back, if you feel like dying.
Thanks.
Don't thank me. I'll be well on my way to Baldur's Gate when you die.
And we'll have a dog, right?
They don't allow them in Baldur's Gate. Cats, though?
A little orange cat. And a house with a little door so that it can come and go as it pleases.
And a high fence to keep eavesdroppers out.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Just, you know, good luck to you both.
Thanks. I suppose we'll all need it.
What about you? Big plans for when you get to the city?
You know, I've never actually been to Baldur's Gate before. Perhaps I can drop in on you.
Of course! You're definitely invited. We'll make dinner.
Good luck to you then. And wish us some, too.
If you read this one first, about the Elfsong Tavern, and then talk to them, you can tell them that you're going to meet them at the Elfsong Tavern, as opposed to their house.
I suppose we'll start in the outer city. Get a little business going.
Your spiced tea is life-changing. And I can bake up almond cakes 20 at a time.
Cute. I can steal these without them seeing me, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just make sure you're not caught. Make sure you're crouched down and out of the red zone. See? Money. So we need money. Be careful opening any chests or anything that you find in sight of anyone. They will see you. They will scream at you. You'll start a fight. It's not good. You have a chance of talking your way out of it, but in honor mode, it's hardly ever worth
You're the
the
one
risk.
who helped at the gate. Glad to have another sword. We might need it.
You can very carefully steal everything that's up here, and I recommend that you do. Those are usually worth a little bit, so I'll go ahead and take those too. I won't be doing this forever, but sometimes you find some really neat stuff that you wouldn't expect, like various scrolls and potion supplies that can actually be super helpful throughout the game. I can't tell you how many times I've been saved by like a scroll of invulnerability that I found in a random chest somewhere, or like random, you know, crate. Gonna sneak up here real quick. This part is again optional, but there's just a person up here that we can talk to, and this is not considered stealing, so I'll take that and
Used
then
to
talk
think
to
that
Lacrissa.
goblins would kill us the second we set foot outside. But after hearing what you did at the gate, well, I still think they'll kill us. But at least we can put up a fight.
Not with that attitude. Fight and win.
There's optimism, and then there's stupid, hun. Plenty of us fell to monsters already. I don't see the rest of us lasting long out there. But if you're so sure we will, why not put a little gold on the line?
How are you gonna take my gold if you're dead?
Oh, I'm sure you're good for it. Just leave the gold on my corpse. After seeing you at the gate, I'm sure you'll last longer than us.
Alright. You're on.
Excellent. And since I ain't one to leave a debt unpaid, that means we're destined to meet in Baldur's Gate. Looking forward to it.
So we'll head back down in here, and then we'll go up here. For some reason, none of these are considered stealing either, so go ahead and take what you can. Again, money, money, money.
Only gonna ask you one more time, boy. Hand over my locket.
I don't have your ugly locket. I've never seen it before.
Hand it over or I'll slap the teeth out of your head.
Don't you dare lay a finger on that child.
You threatening me?
You're the one making threats to a child. Pull yourself together. Treat this however you want to. I don't think it has any major impact. If you're the dirge, you should side with the kid. And I'll explain why after this.
You don't understand. The kid stole my locket. He... Oh, the hell's with this? These little devils get away with everything because of coddling bastards like you. You'll get yours someday. I hope I get to see it.
Maybe you will, but personally, I doubt it. See you around.
So the kid does actually take the locket. So feel free to call him out. Try and get it back for the guy. If you do it right, you can actually convince the kid to admit it, but then the guy just hands her the locket anyway. But if you are nice enough to enough of the kids around here, then you get another quest from Maul.
Another one. What are you under there then? Ant? Aurochs?
Aurochs describes me well, yes.
Big and slow? The keepers of this place choose different forms. Better ones. They become birds to hunt on the wing, bears to tear flesh with teeth. But for me, only oxen, only same old hay, and I cannot even eat it because the horned ones hide their shiny bits inside.
Shiny bits? The tieflings put something in your hay?
hiding things, thinking they're clever. Not clever. Sometimes I eat the shiny bits, and they have to go looking for them on the other end.
So that is like the clue that you need to find this pouch that's in this haystack, but obviously we already found it because Karlach has high perception. And then there's this guy.
Ah, you're addressing me, a humble ox. How quaint.
There's something strange about this ox. What is it?
Something's off. This creature isn't what it appears to be.
There's more to you than meets the eye. Care to explain?
No. You are incapable.
Come on, old chap. I'm a devil for gossip.
I'll tell you this much. I'm going to Baldur's Gate, with or without the rest of these poor sods. Now, that's all I have to say besides, and I really mean this, moo. Move along.
I freaking love that ox. Now, I am all for giving spoilers with a spoiler warning, but I am not going to spoil anything about that ox if you don't already know what his deal is, because he's just interesting. I want the surprise to be there when we finally get to him. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about with like lockpicks. Don't waste your inspiration. Don't worry about running out. I have 9 thieves' tools. The odds of me actually burning through all of those, like, pretty slim to none. So just go ahead and try again. I love how when you walk around with an animal as well, all the kids come out and like gawk at him. Even Donnie talks to the bird.
He stares right past you, as if you're invisible. Or boring.
Are you all right, Donnie?
Mm-hmm.
I see. Anything else on your mind?
He's still staring right past you.
And then we can turn around to see what he's
You see
looking at.
nothing out of the ordinary. When you turn back, there's no trace of the child.
I failed the perception check. Not a big deal. There's other ways of getting in there. We're going to go over here next, and we'll talk to my buddy Mattis. He's probably my favorite kid.
Hold out your hand, mister. Let me show you something. Go on. Take this ring. It's lucky.
That was a fancy trick.
You haven't seen anything yet, mister. Go on. Take the ring and watch your fortune change.
I'm going to try this. Oh, damn. High roll.
Weeping, bleeding hells! Okay, maybe you don't need extra luck. But since you're already holding the thing, call it. Heads or tails?
What do you think? Heads or tails? You want BG4 to take place like 15 to 20 years later and Mattis have a thriving empire? Yes! That would be amazing. Tails never fails?
Tails it is! See? That's the kind of luck you get from one of my lucky rings. I've got more where that came from.
I don't know, though.
Real cheap, too. Interested?
I don't know, man. One coin toss doesn't necessarily prove anything. Someone else, give me heads or tails.
Okay, fair. Let's go again. Heads or tails? Call it.
Tails never fails.
We got tails! There. Happy?
You can actually keep doing that. I think it's like 5 or 6 times. Like, he's just like, alright, go away. But I'm going to try and give him the ring back because I want to see the wares.
You got it. One sec. That's what I got.
His rings are freaking hilarious. I'm just going to take a minute and read through these. Like the ring of being really invisible, which is missing its gem, or perhaps it's just very invisible. We have the ring of infinite wishes. The ring of resistance to ants. A glob of tree sap, studded with dead ants, occupies the space where this ring stone once sat. And then the ring of lechonesis. A small pebble swings from a length of fishing line, tied to this copper ring. I love it. I love Mattis. Definitely one of my favorite like sub-characters. We're not actually going to buy anything. We will sell our wares to him, because why not?
You suddenly feel something moving against your back, and turn.
Go ahead and observe her.
Notice she's trembling. The tears streaming down her cheeks are indeed real.
I'm not going to lunge at her. She's a sweet kid. She's just trying to get by. So relax. I won't get angry. You didn't even manage to get anything from me. Like, breathe.
I can't do this anymore, Mattis. I'm sorry.
Hey, you here to trade or?
Your partner is a thief.
Yeah, I know. I was standing right here telling her to rob you.
You could at least pretend to be sorry, Mattis.
I am sorry. Sorry we're still talking about this. Look, you caught her. Good for you. You aren't a chump like everyone else around here. Now, do me a favor. Make room for the chumps.
That hole, if you're a small character, you can climb through. I am obviously a human who is a medium character, so I'm not going to bother.
Please, let us through.
Small characters include dwarves, gnomes, halflings.
Let my daughter go right now!
She's a thief, hellspawn, and you will wait for Korga's judgment. Now get back!
Oh, let me through, Mragrashem, or I'll rip your damn throat out!
I don't even think that bear looks menacing. He just kind of looks cuddly.
We need to get Arabella out, now!
You heard the guards. They're waiting on Korga to give word.
I'd sooner trek through the 9 hells than trust that snake! Ugh!
I saw what happened. Why are the druids holding your daughter?
Arabella tried to steal their idol. Druids lost their damn minds about it. They need it for their precious ritual.
Oh, it's all my fault. I told her I wished the wretched thing would just disappear, or better yet, explode.
Now Arabella's being judged by a bunch of druids who hate us. That's not right.
Breaking into druid chambers to steal a sacred relic. Oh, she sounds like fun.
She is just a child. The druids are kind of overreacting, so I'll talk to them.
Thank you. They won't give us the time of day.
Hurry! I'm at the end of my tether as is. Can't take this waiting.
I'd rather you not get eaten by a bear. Try greasing palms.
Come, Magrin, give him a chance. You, get back!
For the most part here, just as a reminder for everyone who's using this as a tutorial, feel free to take like whatever dialogue options and choices that you want throughout this. If you want to be a little sassy, if you want to be mean, if you want to be downright cruel, do that. That's fine. When there's something that's like significantly important, I will make a mention of it. I'm playing in a way that will hopefully save all the tieflings by the end of the game, but don't feel like you need to mimic what I'm doing to a T. When it's important, I'll let you know. I'm not looking for trouble. Can't you just let me by?
No, and you'll find trouble all the same unless you get out of my sight.
A moment, Giorna.
What? Oh, I understand. You. Apparently Korga wants to see you. Go ahead.
Don't go this way yet, okay? I have done it at level 3 before, but you know, spoiler warning, there is a fight over here that I would recommend you wait on until you're at least level 4, or at least have some more magic items. It can be tricky, so just don't risk it. It could be a game over if you go this way. Come up here, though. Go ahead and take what's in this chest. Cap of Curing is, if you have a bard, it's worth it. Otherwise, I hold on to it to feed Gale. That's the only thing it's useful for. It's not even worth a lot of money to sell. A couple bowls that are actually worth a pretty penny, 30 gold apiece. And then I recommend you talk to the squirrels.
It hurts! It hurts! Please, make it stop!
Slow down. What's wrong?
Can't you hear it? Her singing. It's awful. Terrible.
You know what? I've never sang along with her as loudly and off-key as I can, so I'm going to do that right now.
You're killing us! My head is melting. I'm leaving before the damage is permanent.
Dance upon the stars tonight.
Who's that?
Smiles and pain will fade away. Words of mine will change. No,
There is a benefit of being sort of nice to her. You want to play the guitar with her, and you will get a perk that you cannot otherwise get unless you start the game as a bard.
It sounded like a cat being strangled. God damn it!
Ask her if she's alright.
I'm moments away from a grisly death at the hands of this bloody song. I can't... Nothing fits, you know?
Let me see if I can help.
It can't hurt. I have an extra lute, if you want.
Hand me the lute. We can perform together.
I'll start from the beginning. We'll take it slow. Dance upon the stars tonight. Smile and pain will fade away.
Play along with her. Do I use an inspiration here? Yeah, I will. I'll use one. Nice.
Words of mine will turn to ash when you cool the last light down.
Keep time with her.
Moon reminds me of your grace, all the love I can't repay. Rest and know that I will pray. Farewell, my dear old friend. Sorry.
There you go. So there's actually a way to get her to give you like a mini concert where she plays by herself, and it's like a whole 4.5-minute cutscene where she just sings that entire song, and it's actually really beautiful if you listen to the whole thing. But we're not going to get it because we wanted to do what we just did, which is going to give us proficiency with instruments. Well, would you look at this grove? So lovely, so grove-like.
Very subtle. That's the first time I've played since Lihala died. My teacher. She was playing her lute. We didn't hear the gnolls coming. There was so much blood. I can still smell it.
You've come up with a fine tribute to her.
Lihala said that's why eulogies were important. They were for the living as well as the dead. I'd forgotten what it was like. That itch to perfect a song. Keep the lute. Please. You've earned it. The Weeping Dawn will be my gift to Lihala. I've a long way to go. But thank you. I needed this.
Yeah, I do love Alfira, honestly. She's pretty excellent. Spoiler warning for those of you that don't know. If you play as the Dark Urge, the next time you go to bed after meeting Alfira is the first time you learn why the Dark Urge is the Dark Urge. That's all I'll say about it right now. Oh, and it's also when you get the second item that I was talking about that you basically start the game with. Something to keep in mind if you're playing as that kind of character.
Just a moment. This man is recording my story. I
Steelyx.
am far from home.
As the colourful man starts scribbling, the bear sneaks a quick look at the page. His brow furrows. Incomprehensible squiggles surround a crude sketch. A bear disemboweling a clutch of tieflings.
Ah, my good friend. You were at the gates just now, no? When the goblins came? You saw them up close? A few questions, if you please. There's no overstating my interest.
Oh, before we do anything, he carries a ring that you should absolutely buy if you can afford it. Not even close. Ooh, there we go. I won't use these. Definitely won't use that. I don't really want to get rid of this because I want to give it to Gale. I might go ahead and sell her weapon. Yeah, let's screw it. This is more important. Bing.
Glory. Now then, how would you describe that particular batch of goblins? Size, nature, distinguishing qualities?
You search your mind, but remember nothing useful about goblin social order or behaviour.
Give an exact description.
Goblins were of rare, jam-coloured hue and wielded magic blowguns. And the dragon they had marching in the rear, was it of the brass or silver variety?
God, I love Volo. It was brass, no doubt about it.
Witness mistook obvious silver dragon for brass. Last question, then you'll be quite free. Did the attackers rally to the absolute when they fell upon the gates?
Yes, they called out the name like a war cry. It's the only fact that he gets
didn't
right.
They? Oh, curious. Oh, curious indeed. I've interrogated one, a captive in this very camp. She reports they've abandoned their god Maglabiet in favor of someone called the Absolute. The scandal.
Just gonna hold my tongue for
Never
now.
you mind. I'm on my way to their camp as we speak. I always knew my studies in Gukliak would come to some use.
Wait. About our conversation earlier, why the dragon?
My friend, every story benefits from a dragon. Until we meet again.
This ring is excellent for Shadowheart, your healer. Now, whenever she heals, the person that she heals will gain Bless and a bonus to saving throws as well. It gives them a better chance to hit. Why would you not want that?
He didn't come back, did he? His smell is gone. He's gone.
Who are you looking for?
Master. He left with the weaponed two legs. He said he'd be back. But I can smell them, the weaponed ones, and I cannot smell him. He's not coming back.
You look strong. Why not go after him?
No. The woods have gone dark. There's too many predators lately, and I was never the strong one.
Poor Orm. Alright, so the other reason that we came down here is there's this little hidden area off to the side. You can just send Karlach on her own. There's no enemies or anything back here. If you're really impatient, you can jump and skip through the water if you want to. It'll speed it up a little bit. And look at that 138 gold that I just found. Didn't even have to sell Shadowheart's weapon. Go ahead and grab these. Careful here, though. There's a lot of stuff that you can steal. Obviously, you don't want to steal it in front of all of these people. If you have the ability to, if you're Dirge especially, feel free to try and steal that. Not quite yet, but by the time we're done with the Grove, try and steal that idol, because it actually is good to have on your person. It's not entirely necessary, but there's a small benefit to it. Read these, don't steal them, just read them. Don't read this one. That one counts as stealing for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Don't steal these either, even if you're out of sight, because the way that they walk around, they'll go back and notice something is missing, and then the first person that they see out of place, who is you, they'll confront about it, even if they didn't witness you stealing the damn thing. So just be careful with that.
Speak.
What were you saying to that bird?
The bird knows. She needs to know. You do not.
Look, I helped defend the Grove. I'm not your enemy.
Forgive me. It is not you I fear. It is my brethren. More follow Korga every day. They are afraid, and she offers a simple solution. Eject the refugees, and we will be safe.
And she's wrong?
Perhaps not. But that does not make it right. Only Master Halsin can stop this. I pray my bird returns with news of him. If not, I fear for my people.
Shouldn't the ritual protect the Grove? You're not helping the others prepare it.
The ritual is Korga's decision. But she is not our leader. Master Halsin welcomed the refugees in. I wait for him to resolve this.
You don't need the key or the gold that this bird has, but feel free to talk to him.
I'm concentrating. Does this look good? Is the coin in the middle?
I'll be nice to him. It's slightly off. Push it a bit to the right.
Yes. Yes, you're right. That's it.
Just trying to attract a mate. A couple options here. You can take the fish that you stole from Orm and you can throw it over here, or you can just talk to her.
I'm sleeping.
Could you move just a little bit? I need to use the elevator.
Okay.
See? Not that hard. And then you can use the elevator to get in and out of the Grove a little bit quicker.
I'm sorry.
Have you lost your scent?
I'm sorry.
This is madness, Korga. She's just a...
A what, Wrath? A thief? A poison? A threat? I will imprison the devil. And I will cast out every stranger.
I will say this as kind of a semi-spoiler warning. If you want to save all the tieflings, there's an obvious solution here, but it is also possible to not fulfill the quest the way that it is intended. So do whatever you'd like. If you're trying to save all the tieflings, obviously, you know, do the make the obvious choices here. Thief, poison. What's this girl's actual crime?
Girl? You mean parasite? She eats our food, drinks our water, then steals our most holy idol in thanks. Wrath, lock her up. She remains here until the rite is complete. And keep still, devil. Tila is restless.
Come, Korga. We took back the idol. Surely...
Do it.
Release her. I'll see that she stays out of trouble. That was one that I absolutely would have used an inspiration on.
She may go.
And I recommend you do the same
Break
if you...
your word, and my serpent shall feed. Sif, Tila to me. Out, thief. My grace has its limits.
It hurts.
Thank you, Korga. Master Halsin...
Halsin isn't here. Keep his name off your tongue, lest Tila pierce it.
I prepare for it every time, and still, every time she hisses at the snake, I lose it. It's so funny.
I know that look. You're wondering why I was in pain before. Let's just clear the air about that now. It's just an old wound that hurts me from time to time. Nothing to be concerned about. It's nothing to do with the tadpoles, at least, in case your imagination is in danger of getting away from you. It's just something I have to live with.
Are you sure it's not connected to the tadpole?
Positive. You can trust me on that.
I do believe you. How badly does it hurt?
Quite a lot, if I'm being honest. But it always passes quickly, so I can manage.
So I'm going to recommend that you read these for some interesting little backstory, but be careful on one of them.
Grows with claw and tooth to tear the darkness from its roots. The mural depicts Druid and Beast fighting together to drive monsters from their land. It looks like they were victorious, and yet the monsters have returned. By claw and tooth from root to thorn, the old oak's grove to wildlings sworn. The mural depicts a ritual, but you do not recognize the deity involved.
It's obviously Sylvanas. There he is. There's 3 easy ones. There's this guy over here, the Union Black.
They look like Dark Justice.
In darkest hour, a concord made, twixt harp and wild against the shade. Harp and wild. You recall stories of an alliance between druids and the harpers, but the details are vague.
I suppose you've noticed I'm not terribly fond of wolves. They're ravenous predators with fangs like daggers. It's hardly an irrational fear to harbor. You've been decent to me so far. Maybe if you can, don't make me face any more of them. At least, not alone.
I will try to avoid wolves in the future where possible.
Thank you. I had a feeling you'd be understanding.
Those murals in the grove, something about them seemed to catch your eye.
What can I say? They were eye-catching. Consider me an art lover.
So for whatever reason, you'll notice that the Fallen plaque is red. So if you read it and they see you, they will think that you're trying to steal it for some reason. So just crouch down and try to use it
The towers seized,
without them
the
seeing
battle
you.
done. The moonrise broke the darkest one. You recognize the mark of the dark goddess Shar on the broken helmet. This army marched in her name.
So many dead. Sent to the Night Singer's embrace.
Moonrise must be a reference to Shar's divine sister, Saluna.
There's a couple books over here you can read if you want to. Just like the other tablet, if you try to read this, they think that you're stealing for some reason, so don't try to read that one if you're in view, which you will always be in view with these two sitting right here.
You did well to speak up for the girl. That snake is fickle. A tragedy prevented.
And if I hadn't spoken up, what would have happened?
Nothing befitting a child. Nothing befitting any of our world's creatures. We've let a snake replace our leader. She will see the tieflings driven out, or worse.
Kaga seems happy to rule the roost. Who's your real leader?
Master Halsin. Perhaps goblin called, perhaps dead. He'd set Mistress Korga back in line. Hold her to task, stop this damned ritual. More will die if the rite is finished. So many more, sent into a world gone mad.
Look, if no one's looking for Halsin, I could do it.
Would you? I would give anything to see Halsin return home.
Yeah, no need to fret. I'll find him.
Sylvanus' blessing upon you, and my gratitude as well. Halsin is an elf with the presence of a bear. He left west with the adventurers. You won't mistake the first druid for anyone else.
Go on. Say it. You think I'm a monster?
I mean, only a monster would threaten a child.
Yes, you would say so. I know your kind. You see only villains and victims. A viper bears her fangs defending her brood. I call her mother. You call her monster. No matter. I took back the idol of Sylvanus, and the rite is resumed. We will seal the grove, free from harm, free of intruders.
This rite must be born of powerful magic.
The rite of thorns. It is the Tree Father's gift that none come to harm. When we speak the final prayer, the great vine will sprout forth. The grove will be cloaked in bramble and thorn. No one enters, no one leaves. Sanctuary. None of this can happen while outlanders infect us. Sylvanus demands that we choke them out.
Actually, I came on Zevlar's behalf. His people could perish if you force them out.
And mine perish if he stays. You showed great mettle at the gate. The mettle of a skilled sword for hire. I want you to provide your services to Zevlor. Offer to guide the Outlanders out of the grove. I'm sure they'll reward you well. They're to be gone before final prayer. If they are not, the Viper must strike.
Then it seems I'd best speak to Zevlor. You can attack her now if you really want to. It's a pretty challenging fight.
You will do more than speak. This tale ends but one way. With the Outlander rot cleansed, and the grove forever restricted.
So I personally would recommend waiting. Alright, now you can go in here. You can try to steal a bunch of the stuff that's in here. There's some stuff that's actually worth a lot of money. Specifically, you need to come in here to read the Rite of Thorns. Gives you an experience bonus. The other reason that we want to come in here is to sneak up and back down here real quick before the guy comes back. Take everything that's in there and leave. I'm going to read these fully later, but you want to go ahead and read that, and it updates a quest for you. It gives you another experience bonus. Ugh, Nettie.
I see you. Just give me a moment.
Wait patiently.
This medicatrix.
There. It's up to her now. Life or death. Now, what was it you needed?
Healing. Looks like I came to the right person.
I do what I can. For most folks, that's enough. Come here. Let's have a look at you.
I am
You seem
convinced.
healthy enough. A bit tired around the eyes, maybe.
Yeah, look, there's no good way of putting this. I have a tadpole in my head.
Tadpole? A mind flayer tadpole?
What other kinds are there? It's not like a frog hopped in my eye.
That's a serious condition. Come, follow me. I might be able to help. We need to be quick. This way.
Alright, first things first, we're going to get her over here. We're not going to follow her just yet. She can't see you stealing anything right now, so take advantage of it while you can. Get everything in this room. Do be careful, though, because if you take too long, she will eventually come and check on you and be like, hey, what's going on? Why are you taking so long? And she's interrupted me and caught me stealing before, so just keep an eye out for that. Be very, very quiet. This is the risky part. I don't want these guys to see me. But you get a lot of money right here, so it's absolutely worth doing this. Oh, see, she's starting to move. And it's fine if she comes out, just don't let her catch you doing anything. I'm like hypersensitive to it from that one time that it happened. Woo, alright.
This one had the
That
same
was fun.
problem as you. Attacked us in the woods together with some goblins. Tadpole crawled out of his head soon after.
I was hoping for a less grave cure. Captain Swing.
I'll do the best I can. I'm no Master Halson, mind. He'd have your tadpole out like that.
Really?
Still, we have options.
Huh.
All right,
Not who I thought it was.
let's see what we can do.
What's that plant? Will it help?
Might. But first things first. Tell me about your symptoms. Have you noticed anything strange happening?
Looking closer, you realize you've seen this thorn in the wilds. It's Kalimvor's kiss, a briar from the Dale lands, and a deadly poison.
How about you put the briar down and we'll
I
talk?
want to help you, but I can't unless you work with me. So, has anything unusual happened to you?
Couple ways to go about this. You can tell her you don't trust her, and that's going to cause a fight, or you can be honest with her, which will not cause a fight. I'll be honest with her. I can merge my mind with anyone else.
Victims can identify each other. Not that the others know they're victims, of course. How'd you pick up the parasite? Halson was desperate to find where all this was happening.
And for the record, it doesn't matter if she does. If she attacks you, you can kill her without alerting the rest of the grove. So don't worry if you decide you do want to do that. On a Mind Flayer ship, I was kidnapped and infected.
A Mind Flayer ship? But Master Halson was sure. Look, you've been straight with me, so I'll be straight with you. You're dangerous. If you transform here, we're all dead. But you seem like a good soul. You deserve a chance to save yourself. This is a vial of wyvern poison. Swear to me, you'll swallow it if you feel any symptoms.
More poison. I would have preferred a cure.
I don't have a cure. Only a way out. I'm sorry for misleading you, but I had to be sure you weren't a threat before I told you everything. Now, do I have your word or not?
All right, hand it
Swear
over. Ultimately, this doesn't have any long-term consequences, so I'm not too worried.
I hope it doesn't come to
alright.
that, but thank
I
you.
knew she disapproved.
Here. You know, I've spent my life treating folk and never once saw a mind flayer infection. Then suddenly, there's dozens of you. Maybe more. Master Halson and I were tracking them, studying them, trying to figure out what the hells was going on. Because you should all be changing. There should be a small army of mind flayers out there. But you're not. Weird powers aside, you seem perfectly normal.
You must have learned something from studying
For
them.
one, that thing in your head is like nothing we've ever seen from mind flayers. It's one of their worms for sure. But this one gives you powers. Telepathic connections. And it doesn't turn you into one of them. Not yet, anyhow.
That's good news?
Could be. But there's a lot we don't know. Infected, folks like you, have been converging on an old temple of Selûne. And I've no idea why. When Master Halson heard the adventurers were heading that way, he saw a chance to get answers. Joined on the spot. Whatever he found there, he didn't make it back.
So what do you want me to do?
The thing is, I've sent birds to find him. But the place is rotten with goblins. None of us can even get close. You, though, you're one of them. Technically speaking, I mean. They won't kill someone carrying their parasite. If you can find Halson and get him out of there, we can discover what he learned. And perhaps he can save your life. How's that sound?
Sounds like you're making a lot of assumptions that could kill me.
The way I see it, you have two options. Halsin, or that wyvern poison. I don't envy your choice, truly. But this is the hand fate's dealt you.
Alright, I'll find Halsin.
Thank you. It would mean everything to the Grove. To me. I wish I could tell you more. But only those adventurers know what happened out there. All I can say for sure is they all went to the old temple of Selûne. And Master Halsin didn't make it back. Good luck out there. And if things start to go bad, remember the vial. Remember your oath.
This is the poison that she gives you. It actually is really good to put on your weapon. So now that we're out of that, or now that she's out of this room, we can go ahead and take everything that's hanging out over here. Definitely don't forget to pick up the Mind Flayer Parasite. That's the best thing that's in this room. She's not going to notice anything if we're over here, so just make sure you go ahead and do this. I recommend grabbing just all of these. A ton of books on all of these shelves. If nothing else, you're coming over here and you're taking all of these to sell, you know, because they're worth 16 gold a piece. Okay, and then one more area.
That might be worth a look.
The only way to get through that door is with an item that she carries, actually. So if you fight her and kill her, you can go into that passageway. But there is another way over there, which is where we're going to be headed next. I'll give this one and this one to Shadowheart. Give these potions to Shadowheart. Make sure all of this is going to go to the camp. Hold on to your good berries. They disappear after an extended rest, and you can treat them as, like, minor potions. Leave the bird alone, okay? The bird is healing. If you talk to it again, I'm pretty sure it dies, so you don't want to do that. That wolf just whined, and I thought it was Steelyx for a second. Thank you so much for doing that. Both of you. Dark twice, actually, for gifting your gift and for gifting another one to Skylar. Appreciate you. Seriously, thank you very much. That's the Grove. Again, we don't want to go this way yet. Can if you really want to. I just don't super recommend it right now. We're going to touch base with Zevlar.
I heard what happened. Thank you for protecting the child. If the Druids are this far gone, then it's not just goblins we have to fear. So we can risk violence here, or face it for certain on the road. Quite the choice, isn't it?
You have to resist.
No, the Druids are too powerful. We can't stand against them all. It's Korga's influence. Without her twisting things, I believe the Druids might see sense.
Then why don't you get rid of her?
A low thought. But I'd be lying if I said I hadn't considered it. But the Druids would slaughter us. We'd have to get close to Korga, within striking distance. I can't manage that. But they've already let you pass once. You're taking a risk for us. We'll see that you're rewarded. I'm still hoping Korga can be swayed from this madness. But if not, leaders need to make tough decisions. We do what we must.
You can end it peacefully if you want to. I will not. I don't like Kaga. Yeah, I think that's everything here except for this exit over here. Do I have enough money to buy the other two potions she has before I forget them?
Hello, Petal.
Thank you. Hooray. I know it sucks being this broke, but trust me, you want these potions. You definitely want these potions for this playthrough.
You ain't gonna shoot me. Your hands are shaking.
Put it down. She can't fight back.
That's the point. Get out of the way!
She didn't kill your brother, Arca. You're better than this.
Shoot before you lose your nerve, Tiefling. If you ever had it to begin with.
This is another achievement that you can possibly get. It's actually one of the harder ones to get because you have to do things in a very precise order. Step 1 is saving Saza's life, and the achievement is to save her 3 times throughout the campaign. And this is the first opportunity. You need to step between the crossbow and the goblin and then free her, which I'm gonna do. I might not free her. We'll see. I'm gonna step between the crossbow and the goblin though.
Looks like the Absolute sent me a protector. You're gonna kill him too?
You, move!
Look, this won't avenge canon. It won't change anything. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and use an inspiration right there.
You're right. I wish you weren't. I really do. Damn you. Damn it! Why do you care if a goblin lives or dies?
And if she dies, she'll take everything she knows to the grave.
If you believe anything the beast tells you, you're an idiot.
It's all right, Arca. Let's go.
I'm gonna bite the heads off your kids. And your birdies. Ain't sure why you're protecting me. Don't care, neither. It's too late to make friends warg me. My tribe's coming. They're gonna burn this pretty place for the glory of the Absolute and hang you by your guts.
Who is this Absolute you're so fond of? Your god?
Goddess. We're burning her name across the face of the world, we are. The Absolute is gold from the sky, she is. The blessing in the storm and the storm itself.
Well, you've caught my interest. Have any holy literature on you?
My tribe can tell you everything there is to know. Absolute blessed one of our own. Priestess Gut. Got a whole lab set up. Cooks up potions that fix our lads, no matter how much of a beating they take. Could probably stick your head back on if someone was to chop it off. Mighty booyog.
A goblin healer. We really are desperate, aren't we?
Well, I'd certainly like to meet her.
Get me out of here, and I'll tell you where to find her. Deal?
Nah, you already told me what I need to know, so I will find the priestess myself. Thanks.
Even if you did find my tribe, they'd set the wargs on you. You need me. Get me out of here, and I'll tell them what a good friend you are.
Not a chance. You can rot in that cage.
Suit yourself. Looking forward to seeing what your innards look like.
Now again, if you want the achievement, feel free to agree, unlock the cage, and lead her out of here. When we get to the other parts about the achievement, I will absolutely let you know. Alright, you can come down here if you really want to. Feel free to skip this part. It's kind of silly for me to even attempt this, because it's dangerous. There's like nothing even that good over here. I think there's like a pitchfork that's worth anything of value. Yep, see, pitchfork. But I am super OCD. Oh look, there was a hat that time. Nice. Alright, now that door is the way out. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go through here. Okay, you're gonna take some damage from this thing. It's gonna happen. I recommend sending Karlach out, starting with the jump.
Honk honk.
And then have her hit this button as quickly as you possibly can.
Did some
That'll turn
bleeding
it off.
ox show up to save the druid? I'll cut you to pieces. Kill him!
If you don't do that quick enough, this thing spits fireballs at you, and you will take pretty significant damage from it. And there's a couple other ones in the cave, I'll point those out. Those ones are easier to avoid, but that one's kind of a pain. If you did bring Saza with you into this cave, then she has an interaction with these goblins, and then they try to kill you anyways, and then you're risking Saza being killed as well, so you should leave her back here. I know most of the time I'd highly encourage having an extra person on the field. This fight is easy enough. You don't need Saza, and she dies really easily. Go ahead and frenzy. And I'm going to see if I can do this without requiring a short rest.
Enjoy this.
Swords
But we'll see.
meet sorcery. Certainly.
Yeah, go that way. Come up a little bit more. Okay. Go ahead and do this on... Well, let's just stick with the one that we have. Yeah, I'm not going to waste any of those abilities yet. Let's just go ahead and try and kill him. Shadowheart is hot garbage as always this early on. So just do what has the highest chance of hitting right now without using a spell slot. I'm going to go ahead and use her ranged attack. She did something. Wow.
Let's have some carnage.
Alright, and then Astarion, you're stuck in the mud for some reason. That's no bueno. I'll have you jump over it. He's going to waste his bonus action, that's fine. He's not going to get close enough to attack anyone anyways.
Let's move.
And remember, he has Warding Bond, so he's effectively your tank. Even though Karlach has more health, he has higher defense. Thought that said 22 for a split second, and I almost panicked. Let's get you over here. And And since you can't attack from a range, we're going to go ahead and dash. And we'll have you fly. Let's just put you up here to distract. Rude. Alright, don't focus on the ward companions. If you can manage to kill these things instead.
Soldier.
Yes. Always use reckless attack. That's what I forgot to do. Alright, I'll have to do that in a second. There we go.
No gloom, all doom.
Can you reapply Hunter's Mark, remember, for free? And then go ahead and attack.
Ready.
1 health. Killing me. Of course, you're threatened, so this might not even come close. That's fine. What are your chances of... See? Killing her makes the ward go away. So don't waste your time focusing on it. It's just going to distract you. Now, with him, he can use 2 attacks every single turn. As a monk. And actually, that attack hits twice, so that's 3 attacks already at level 3. You can see why monks are stupid strong. Like, 3 attacks at level 3 is just silly. It's bananas how powerful they are. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and blind you. Nice. Well, that was silly. Always use reckless attack. It makes her easier to hit, but the trade-off is that you have double the chance to hit on all of your attacks. It's so freaking worth it. Especially with how much damage she does. There we go.
A tale for the ages.
Forthwith. Hunter's Quarry as always. And then we'll just... Oh. We'll step up a little bit. If you get to a point where the enemies are outside of your normal range, go ahead and have them move up. It's not worth not doing that. See? Super easy fight. Now, one thing I did forget to do, reactions. Make sure his opportunity attack is always on. Make sure deflect missiles is on. It's up to you if you want to do the ask or not. I never do.
Let's get on with it.
I just make sure that they go, for the most part, automatically. And this will make it so that she is just always using reckless attack whenever you attack something. So that's helpful. And we'll come up here. The reason that I went this way and not around is because you can see that this little rune right here will help turn that new trap off. Everyone else want to give that a shot?
Oh dear.
Thank you.
Someone's left a trap out for us.
So we're going to disarm that trap before we open this chest. Again, lockpicks are so easy to come across, never bother with an inspiration. Just re-roll it. Nature's Snare. You know what? We'll go ahead and give that to
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
Shadowheart, so that she has a weapon. It actually does more damage than the one that she had before, so that worked out. See? Thieves' Tools. There you go. Makes up for the one that we just lost. I want to say he already has Dark Vision, but we'll give that to him for now. I think everyone in this party has Dark Vision, except for maybe Karlach. Alrighty. So then we come over here, we pull Karlach back out.
Let's go.
Separate her from the group. Have her jump over here. And when she lands, have her run down and use that button. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Whew. Done. Now they're all turned off, and we are good to go. Dead guy over here that you can loot. I think that's the key to the chest if you wanted to use that instead. And there's also this dirt mound, which has a whole bunch of alchemy ingredients. I never bother with the elixirs of resistance. There's better elixirs to be used, so whenever I find them, I sell them. You can only use 1 elixir per extended rest, so why waste it on a resistance? This is the other door that I was talking about that we found earlier in the Emerald Enclave. Throw a potion. There we go. And yes, the blast activates even on a potion throw. We'll go talk to Findel over here.
His wounds deep. He doesn't respond to your voice.
Seems simple enough.
Seek and you shall find me.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I thought I was gonna die down here.
Was no one looking for you?
No. I'd still be outside gathering herbs if I didn't run into the goblins. I must tell the others what happened. I step careful. There are traps in these tunnels. And thank you again.
Thanks, man.
Easy enough.
Goblin
That
tracks.
might be worth a look. Far too many of them, too.
And that brings you back out here, which is where we found... The heck was his name? That guy over here. Edwin. We're right back out in front of the Emerald Grove. So that is the Emerald Enclave in its, well, a majority of the Emerald Enclave.
Shows no signs it was killed by wolves or hunters. And yet there's terror etched into its dead eyes.
There's just 2 more things that we're going to do tonight.
It's dead. Let's go. Staring at it won't bring it back. Come on. We'll never fix these brainworms if we stop and gawk at every piece of carrion you find.
2 more things that we're going to do. The first one is we're going to harass Astarion about this here boar.
The boar seems to be fresh, only a few hours dead. Examining the corpse, you see 2 small puncture wounds in its neck.
And is it dead enough for you?
These marks are strange. Do you recognize these, Astarion? Do you know what's going on here? I'll let that one go.
I know. It's a waste of our time, and I'm done indulging you.
Fair. Fine. I'll let that one slide. Oh, Astarion, you crack me up. And then we're going to come up here. Now, if I were ever to play tabletop with someone that dismisses the corpse, I'm going to throw some garlic at them. That is the right answer. I forgot exactly what the trigger is or what needs to happen before. I think you need to go to the goblin camp before what I want to see happen here happens. But we'll find out. Oh, it is going to happen. Sweet.
My, what manner of place is this? A path to redemption? Or a road to damnation? Hard to say, for your journey is just beginning. What would suit the occasion? The words to a lullaby, perhaps. The mouse smiled brightly. It outfoxed the cat. Then down came the claw. And that, love, was that. They do know how to write them in Cormyr, don't they? Well met, I am Raphael. Very much at your service.
Am I talking to the mouse or the cat?
Neither. The fox, rather. Hiding, in a word. A silent observer, about to break the silence. Of course, what I have to say merits some privacy, as well as some more, let's call it, refinement. This quaint little scene is decidedly too middle of nowhere for my tastes. Come. There, middle of somewhere.
Can you be more specific than somewhere?
The house of hope, where the tired come to rest and the famished come to feed lavishly. Go on, partake, enjoy your supper. After all, it might just be your last.
I love this. Just, all right.
Not easily rattled, I see. Good. Makes the next part that much more straightforward. What's better than a devil you don't know? A devil you do. Am I a friend? Potentially. An adversary? Conceivably. But a savior? That's for certain.
I don't care what you are. I care what you want.
Oh, a mere trifle. How dear is one's soul, really? A rhetorical question, of course, but let me venture an answer. It's worth very little with a tadpole in your head. One skull, 2 tenants, and no solution in sight. I could fix it all like that.
You're mad if you think I'll make a deal with a devil.
And what is madness but a denial of reality? Still, I've a feeling you'll change your mind before it's changed for you. Try to cure yourself. Shop around. Beg, borrow, and steal. Exhaust every possibility until none are left. And when hope has been whittled down to the very marrow of despair, that's when you'll come knocking on my door. Hope. Such a tease.
And if I do want to take this deal, how would I find you?
I'll be around, watching you squirm like a tadpole through a nice, juicy brain. All those pretty little symptoms, sundering skin, dissolving guts, they haven't manifested yet, have they? One might say you're a paragon of luck. I'll be there when it runs out.
I love his voice. It's perfect for that character. If anyone has an arachnophobe, please look away now. This is your warning. Silver Pendant is a great item to have if you happen to not be using a cleric or someone that has guidance on your team. I don't know why in your right mind you wouldn't have that, but just in the off chance that you don't, absolutely grab that item and use it.
At the back of the crevice lies a bag enfolded in the chitinous squabbling of spiders. A shiny gold coin pokes from its mouth.
Alright, we're going to watch those spiders and remain ready to strike. This is new as a ranger.
The creatures clutch the pouch possessively. You have no doubt. A spider egg is nestled within.
Alright, let's speak softly to those spiders. Hopefully we can calm them with our soothing words. Nice.
Your voice draws their attention. They are suspicious, then curious, and finally at peace. One by one, the spiders retreat to the rear of the crevice, lulled by your murmurs.
And then we're going to reach for that bag.
Something clinks among the coins.
So this is great. This item that we just came across right here. I mean, the pouch itself is, man, it only has 13 gold in it. But this spider egg sac, we're going to go ahead and give to Karlach. Now, in a pinch, if you are struggling in a fight and need a hand, then you can take that spider egg sac and you can throw it at an enemy. It does moderate damage, but what it does do is it hatches the spiders inside of it, which is fantastic because you'll be sitting there getting your butt kicked, and then it's like, if anyone watches King of the Hill, it's like pocket sand but with spiders, and they rain down on your enemies. Then you have like 4 or 5 spiders that join the fray and fight alongside of you, which is just chef's kiss. That's it. I think that's it for this run right here. We went through Emerald Enclave. We're going to talk to everyone, see if anyone has anything new to say. I think they all do about Raphael's sudden appearance.
Can't believe that devil just took us into the hells with a snap of his fingers. If I see him again, I'll wring his neck.
I would enjoy watching that, Karlach.
I knew I liked you. Raphael was his name, right? He's trying to lure us into a game he knows we can't win. I'm not playing. Glad you're not either.
By the way, Karlach, what does that infernal engine
Gives
do
me
to you?
energy. Power. But you've seen it in action.
very hard
is.
to control. If I'm excited at all, angry, nervous, delighted, enticed, I burn hot. Hot enough to burn anyone who gets close.
You must be pent up.
I try not to think about it. I still think about it constantly, but, you know, I try.
Good.
One of these days, I'll sort the whole infernal affair out, get myself cooled off, start making up for lost time. But not today.
So not only do you have this thing in your chest, but it's burning up.
That's the short of it. Bloody thing's been in overdrive since I left Avernus.
Sounds like all we need to do to fix your engine is find some infernal
Let's
iron.
hope Damon is as good as he seems. Once my engine's handled, I can focus on more important matters. Tadpoles, cults, frosty pints.
Bloody hells. Literally. Just when I think I've got a grasp on our dilemma, a devil shows up. No matter. We've dealt with every other oddity thrown at us lately. We can handle this one too. Now,
we sure
as
can.
for this Raphael, he knows our secret. He claims he can help. What do you make of him?
He's a devil. We shouldn't trust him. It's literally that simple.
No doubts at all. He seemed powerful and very knowledgeable about our problem. Not the worst prospect we've stumbled across. As long as you can look past what he is.
I'm not going to just change my mind. We can't trust him.
Good. That's what I wanted to hear. I know people who work much like our new acquaintance does. You don't need a scourge or a rack to break people. Fear and self-doubt is sufficient. When actual pain comes, the victim's already done the heavy lifting for their torturer. There were no right answers with that devil. He was toying with his food. Us.
Who the hells are these people you know who do such things?
Cunning people. Private. And very dangerous at times. Perhaps you'll meet them one day. See? Sowing doubt is an old trick. Watch out for it. And for Raphael.
Oh, I have the option to romance Shadowheart already. That happened way sooner than I thought it would. She's not the one I'm going to be going for, though. She is the one that I typically go for in these games, whenever I do another
Now there's a
playthrough.
bloody devil trailing after us. Well, this gets better and better. Shop around, he said. He seems sure we won't find anything. And he might be right. We've had no luck so far.
He's not. Astarion. He's not right. We still have options.
Maybe. But all that, take your time, I'll wait, nonsense. He's playing with us. He reminds me of, well, someone I used to know. Someone that liked to play with people. Creatures like them don't play games. Unless they know they can win.
We're not his playthings. We'll show him that.
But he's not the only one spinning a web for us. This is no ordinary mind flare parasite. Who tampered with it, and why? What do they have planned for us? And why are we important enough that a devil comes knocking on our door? If we find those answers, we might have a chance.
God, the mystery that they build.
Need something?
It's been a bit since I've done a playthrough, and like going through it
This
is
devil
great.
Raphael flaunts his paltry wings as if he wants to impress us. You saw the red dragon slaying his infernal kin above hell's fires, did you not? Next to a dragon, the devil's a gnat. When I am Kithrak, I will take my Queen Vlaakith his head as a trophy.
I keep forgetting to put her clothes back on. Well, we have no dragons at our disposal now, I'm afraid.
I will sit astride one. It is only a matter of time. I will ride a red dragon. I will wield the silver sword, and I will conquer every layer of hell, should my queen command it.
Why were these knights chasing the Mind Flayer ship, by the way?
The Geich are my kind's mortal enemy. It is not unusual for the Kithrak to give chase, to penetrate the hells. This is unusual. But I'm not one to question the wisdom of my queen. I can see but to the horizon. Vlaakith's sight pierces the many plains. Chuk. Be wary of false promises. The missing druid, Halsin, was it? He may be talented, but only a Githyanki Zathis can cleanse an embedded tadpole.
Will, last
the
one.
devil
What do you
with
got?
the silver tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales. Don't you think?
With the right teacher, yes. What are your thoughts on the devil, Will? What are you trying to say right now? You hypocrite? I'm sorry, this is one of the many reasons that Will just rubs me the wrong way.
Refuse him no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost's always too great.
Don't worry, I have no interest in a devil's deal.
That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
All right, I think that's it for today, minus the read-throughs of all these crazy books that we got. Anyone that doesn't want to stick around and hear me reading a ton of novels, now's your cue to back out, because this is what I'm going to be doing for a while. Alright, so a primer on mythical beasts. This thick, gold-trimmed tome is embossed with decorative outlines of fantastical beasts. Hey, I'm reading. You can't be whining. Mwah. You're always heard on my VODs afterwards with you whining in the background. It's gotta stop. I love you. I love you so much. Someone buy him a treat. Each chapter of this book describes the cultural origins of a different mythological beast. Chapter 5, The Miniature Giant Space Hamster. Very little is known about this particular cryptid. Those stories say they tend to choose well-muscled human males as their steeds when they deign to visit this plane. According to legends, this creature retains a wellspring of indescribable power, known only to itself, though it provides its steed with perhaps mystical, perhaps mundane courage. Unsubstantiated rumors claim the creature has a taste for human eyes. Absolutely ridiculous. A is for Azuth and Other Gods, Volume 6, a collection of children's rhymes about the gods Ilmater, Jurgle, and Kelemvor. Dark, I was kidding. Oh my god, you crazy bastard. Oh, a big Treato and a mini Treato. Here's a good boy. He's drooling. He's drooling all over my pant leg now. Ilmater hears the martyr's cries, takes in the ill and the oppressed. When one to help the others dies, then by Ilmater they are blessed. Jurgle, or so often is said, once gave away his bony throne. For Kelemvor he tracks the dead, makes sure that dead souls do not roam. Kelemvor, Lord of the Dead, will take your hand when death arrives, makes sure souls are correctly led to all their proper afterlives. Disorders of the Nerves and Mind, a treatise, a medical compendium describing varied mental disturbances and their treatments, by cleric-physician Glenn Earl Mack. There came to me a woman, whom I shall henceforth call R, greatly distraught at the unusual tempers of her husband, whom I shall henceforth call B. 3 months prior he'd suffered night sweats, crying out from sleep that he bore the mark of chaos. 2 months prior he'd taken to calling himself by the name Sarevok. 1 month ago he'd speak of little else but the throne for which he is destined. I attended to be at the couple's farmhouse. He sat calmly at the table, an unknown book clutched to his chest. I detected no curse nor loathsome spirit upon him, nor the presence of magic. Yet upon shining the light of candle flame upon him, he raised the book high and exclaimed, "The deaths they bring shall awaken the Father, and through them he will rise." I snatched the book from his hand and flung it into the hearth, where it burned not in red or yellow flame, but pure black. It left but a single scrap, reading, "He foresaw his coming death, and seeded his essence across the land." B shivered and sighed, as if waking from a nightmare. He had no memory of the book, nor the words he had spoken. Diagnosis: unspecified neurotic enthrallment. Treatment: herbal tincture of garlic and drace sipped thrice daily until exhaustion lifts. Drow's letter: orders taken from the body of a Drow scout. They're written in an elegant, if angry hand. This is the one that we found on the corpse of the dead drow in the Emerald Enclave, so this one does have a little bit more story significance. I mean, all of these kind of do in a loose way, minus the space hamster. That one's just ridiculous. But this one is like a direct lead into what's going on. Track the Druid, find whatever burrow he runs to, and report back to me. Remember, you are only a scout. Do not engage. Do not kill anyone. Simply observe and return. I shall decide what we do next. M, the infamous M, who we will meet several sessions from now. Druid notebook, an aging notebook telling the fragmented story of an accidental death and a cursed blade. This is an ancient notebook whose ink is faded and pages are starting to crumble. It's not easy, but some words can still be made out. Ketheric is finished, but it cost us the land. Darkness has fallen. Corruption is everywhere. Chased by shadows, picking us off. Druids and harpers alike. Our wounded were safe. I returned, searching for survivors. Lost, but I found his shade. I put it to rest, and took his glaive. Blade infused with shadow. I have locked it away, to serve as a reminder that even victory can taste bitter. That alludes to a weapon that you can find later on in the game. Faldorn's Canticle, the Shadow Druid's Doctrine. This was found in Kaga's chest when we stole that. There was 2 letters found there. This was one of them. This aged tomb's corners are mossy and alive with tiny insects. The book's spine is limber from overuse. The corner of one page is folded inwards. Balance is a myth. Where any clan treads, nature struggles. Unity is a fiction. Men of mere flesh seek only to tame beast and raise flora. We are the thunder, and we are the rain. We shatter mankind and grow new life in its place. Folk songs of Faerun. Music, tablature, and song lyrics populate the pages of this unfinished bardic tomb. This was taken from, not from, but it was found next to Elfira. The book is a clear work in progress, though already extensive, chronicling various musical styles and notations from across Faerun. Amid the orderly symbols and blackened ink, one page stands out. It is awash in color and meandering arcs. The script below reads, Myconid Song. By Ogma, I hear it, and I see it, and I know it, and I feel it. But I can't write it. Or can I? Myconids are very interesting creatures who we will be introduced to probably within the next 3 or 4 sessions, is my guess. Fringe Philosophy, Volume 5, a dense academic volume printed with no eye for design or delight. This is the one. This one has one of my favorite lines in any book, and that's a big statement, but I just love the way that this is written. The publisher's note claims this volume promotes magical theory too radical for the mainstream. This excerpt is attributed to High Artificer Thara Bryn of Baldur's Gate. I suppose they seek to silence me, believing that an artificer of the High House would not stoop to publish in any volume outside of the great Gondian journals they so diligently guard. But they forget that I am not so grand. Before I lent my name and my knowledge to the High House of Wonders, and all the marvels therein, I was naught but a lazy farm girl who liked to look up. And that was how I first saw them. The slow and serene earth motes, entire mountains migrating through the sky above. It was later I learned of their origins, of the ancient Netherese empire that fashioned them, of the residual magic so potent it sustained them still. The wizards of Netheril carved marvels out of the mundane, lifted the earth aloft for industry, for sport. It was later still, after I earned my place at the High House, that I learned of the long shadow Netheril cast along the evolution of our craft, that their great flying cities fell in folly and flames does not diminish the wonders they wrought, and this stubborn aversion to studying them, to learning what they learned, is the very antithesis of Gon's teachings. Yes, many of the catastrophes inflicted upon the centuries were fruit born of meddling with Netherese seed. Yes, their last shining bastion fell into shadow, their lore twisted to Shar's dark and destructive designs. And yes, I say again, whether the High House will sanction it or no, to study the very flame of creation is worth it, even should the fires consume us. Gives me frickin' chills every gosh dang time. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I don't know, just hits me in all the right places. Half-torn note, a scrap of paper lined with furtive, looping notes. This one was also found in Kaga's chest. The marks crisscrossing the page don't look scribed so much as slashed. Kaga, swamp docks, tree, meet me, alone. Oladon. When you read that for the first time, I opened it up and closed it really briefly earlier, but when you do that, it opens up a quest to go to that spot and meet someone there, or do something there. We will be doing that eventually, but not for a while, because like I said, we want to try and stay away from that entire region where that is located until we have enough elixirs of Hill Giant strength. Halsin's Journal, Volume 1, a log of the Druid's encounter with a goblin detachment and a parasite-infected drow, also found in the Enclave. Extraordinary happenings. While meditating in the forest, Nettie and I were ambushed by a pack of goblins, led by a drow. We had no choice but to defend ourselves. But that is not the extraordinary, or rather disturbing part. On the drow's death, a parasitic creature emerged from the corpse and attempted to escape. I managed to capture it, and have the host's cadaver here in my study. I've told no one of my fears. Nettie suspects, but knows better than to ask. I will investigate further before informing the others. Kaga will demand answers I don't yet have. I had better record any further findings in a separate volume, and keep them upon my person, lest prying eyes jump to the wrong conclusions. So he's investigating the parasites, obviously, and trying to find more information, which is exactly why he went on the expedition with the ones that arrived at the Emerald Enclave. And hastily written note, quickly scrawled, from the Druid Halsin with instructions for his apprentice, Nettie. My dear Nettie, I entrust you with the circlet to open the library. Like I said, there was a key on her body. If you fight her and kill her, you get to take the circlet, which is the key to go into the back room. Wear it always. If you need to enter the vault, hint hint, talk to Wrath. He has the rune but won't give it to anyone, so be sure you have a good reason to ask. Protect my research while I'm gone, and take care of the animals. Don't give fish to Tuffet. She's getting lazy. Master Halsin. Logbook 12-1371. A collection of entries detailing the exploits of an outpost overseen by the Emerald Enclave. This hefty book is labeled 1371, and stamped with an elegant stag against a dark green background. 6 Uktar. Sent 2 druids, some of the newer recruits, up north. Village there has had 2 years of failed crops and are unlikely to survive the next winter. 9 Uktar, these are dates by the way. A group from Baldur's Gate arrived. They've set up camp on the edge of the forest. 2 bears and a fox came by. Their territory has been burned out. Half the fox's cubs died. Paying this new group a visit tomorrow. 10 Uktar. Visit did not go well. After telling me where to shove it, they said they'd cut down half the forest and burn out any wildlife that dared to stick around. Claimed they were going to farm the land and make a new city of their own. Time to get creative. 12 Uktar. Mudslide did the trick. Buried half their farming equipment and made the rest useless. They won't be back anytime soon. Got reports of a red wizard in the village south of here. Hint, hint. Sending 3 rangers to investigate. If they catch even a whiff of a red cloak, I'm contacting the House of Sylvanas. For Magic of the Weave and Introduction, a hefty book for beginning spellcasters. Though mostly truthful, the author, clearly a wizard himself, seems to possess quite a particular bias. Few try to understand the Weave. A true pity, for only they who are truly attuned to the Weave can rightly call themselves spellcasters. Thus comes the question. What is the Weave? It is an essential element of the universe. It runs through everything in unseen threads. It is what makes magic possible. It is also, though I will not go into further detail here, the goddess Mystra herself. See Magic of the Weave, Mystra, and the Spell Plague. The Weave isn't magic precisely, rather it is the raw material from which magic is woven. Not entirely unlike how a collection of threads is shaped and formed into a garment. Those with the necessary talent and skill can manipulate the Weave and perform magic by casting spells. Developing this skill takes years of learning and constant practice. You might have heard of those who can cast spells because they are born with an innate connection to the weave, commonly called sorcerers. Or worse, because they struck a bargain with an otherworldly creature, also known as warlocks. Do not be deceived. Their magic is unpredictable, uncontrolled, and in some cases not even rightfully theirs. No, to truly know and manipulate the weave is an art, but those wizards who master it will know the limitless power and beauty the weave provides. Missives of Candlekeep. This book is packed full of meticulously copied letters, preserving even the handwriting of the originals. A select collection of the most notable letters sent from Candlekeep. Many are dry reports of celestial movements or incomprehensible details of arcane rituals. However, this letter catches your eye. To the sage Elminster. This is the first time we hear the name Elminster in this game. Over the past year, I've delivered many of your letters to Master Gorion, so I wanted to be the one to deliver this sad news. Alas, he is with us no more. Gorion and his ward left Candlekeep soon after your last letter to him arrived. They departed in the middle of the night, but were waylaid shortly after on the road to Beregost. The gate warden tells me that Gorion saw to it that several of his attackers joined him in the next world before he was struck down. I hope this brings you the same grim comfort it brings me. Of his ward there was no sign. In some better news, I received your letter to the library and was able to find much of the material you requested. It has been carefully secured and will travel with this letter. Yours in honor, Tristan P. Shale, librarian at Candlekeep. P.S. I hope you'll forgive my curiosity, but might I ask, why do you need so much information about ballspawn? What exactly are you working on? Notes on drow parasite. Notes written by Halsin on the dead drow's parasite. Anatomical sketches of both a drow and an elithid tadpole are accompanied by notes written in an urgent scribble. The parasite was nestled deep in the brain matter, elithid undoubtedly, yet the host seemed unaware while alive. No visible signs of ceremorphosis on the cadaver. Most strange. The final note is a single underlined word. Altered. Part 2 of the Basics of Alchemy series by Haskin Zesilefin, a descaled dragonborn who lived a life of difficult pain and commendable selflessness. So this is a series. Every alchemy recipe that you find throughout the game is written by the same dragonborn. It tells the story of this dragonborn who his scales are molting, falling off for some reason, and he's desperately seeking a cure. And that is his whole premise of starting alchemy and like making all these potions, is he's conducting all these experiments to try to fix himself. And on his travels learning all these recipes, he finds uses for the potions that he creates and gives them to people in order to help them. It's this really like touching tale, but as it goes on, his condition continues to worsen because he is unable to find a cure. It's a really, really interesting tale. So I'm excited to read through all of these with you. A deep crease in the spine makes the booklet fall open to reveal one recipe in particular. Neat writing in the corner marks it as an antidote for all known potions. This is it. The recipe that made me decide to publish my notes. The story might not interest you, but I shall record it for posterity. Feel free to skip to the actual recipe. Fair warning, these do read like those, you ever try and look up a recipe online and it tells you like a whole story of like, I was traveling in the Andes mountains and the wind was blowing and the sun was shining, and you have to read through this whole diatribe to get to like the actual recipe? That's basically what these are, but they're interesting. I was sitting in the elf song, sipping my usual hot cocoa, the heat soothing the pain in my scaleless hands. A small child human stumbled through the door, sick as a dog. All the other patrons seemed like they wanted to help, but nobody could pay for an antidote for a stranger's child. Meanwhile, the ingredients were just lying around in the kitchen. Every single one of those people could have saved that child, but only I knew how. It felt like a crime. You take salts of mugwort and suspension of bullywug trumpet. Slowly trinkle salts into suspension, stir clockwise until the concoction's consistency turns almost chewable. It might turn slightly green, but this is purely aesthetic and has no effect on the antidote itself. And remember, when in doubt with alchemy, just recall the rule of 3. Thrice the same ingredient forms an extract excellent. On the subject of Gond in progress, a faded letter printed in a dense, bold font. It appears to be an argument between two siblings, one a follower of Gond, and the other a member of the Emerald Enclave. Benji, enough is enough. I am sick and tired of hearing about your precious Emerald Enclave. They claim to be allies of the people of Faerun, that they fight to balance civilization and nature in a chaotic world. But this is lies. They are enemies of progress, of intellect, who would be happiest if the world reverted to a time of outdoor privies and knuckle-dragging proto-folk. Please, visit me at the High House of Wonders in Baldur's Gate. The things I have learned during my apprenticeship are simply, well, wondrous. There's the water pumps. No more back-breaking work for a simple bucket of water. A steam-powered oxen that can drive your wagon for days on end. Even this letter. It was transcribed and printed by our newest mechanized printing press. I had a little fun and printed several copies just for the sake of it. Which is funny because you find this everywhere, even though it's like a private letter. Please, brother, I cannot bear the thought of coming home to you. Coming home to find you picking berries out of a tree and arguing with mother and dad about whether or not their crops impede on fox territory. Right back soon, alright? And don't forget Dad's birthday is next month. Love, Abigail. 1 foot, 2 feet, well met, we'll meet. A popular book of halfling children's rhymes and mnemonics compiled and archived by one Euphedora Greatquill. 1 foot, 2 feet, well met, we'll meet. 2 drakes, 1 mink, 1 draught, 2 drinks. 1 bear, 3 bears, come join, drink here. 1 foot, 2 feet, well met, we'll meet. This is Dr. Seuss. Yondalla and Garl shared twixt them a farl, all covered in butter, and they liked each other. Along came a fly, who flew in with a cry to the buttery farl of Yondalla and Garl. When Garl took a bite, Yondalla shrieked with fright, "Don't eat that, oh my, that's a butterfly." There was an old man named Almuyun, who made the best buns in Faerun. The elders did scold him whenever he sold them, saying, "Elm, bring those buns to our room." Oh, I love this. Oral histories of Faerun, Gith, and Mind Flayers. This thin tome is bookmarked with scraps of illegibly annotated scraps of paper. This book comprises several chapters, one for each cited source. It claims to contain first-hand transcriptions of the oral histories of several storytellers throughout the realm. Chapter 4, Baldur the Swift, 700 years of age. Wood elf storyteller hailing from the Wood of Sharp Teeth. It took me several 10 days of quiet habitation in the wood before the venerable Baldur felt comfortable revealing his presence to me. The longer I stayed, demonstrating I was no threat to his health and peace, the more open he was to gentle inquiry. This tale, relayed to me on a chilly morning as we stoked a small fire between us, was like none I had heard before or since. I asked if it were fiction, and he insisted emphatically it was as true as his own right eye. Long ago, before my eyes and ears, before your lonesome quill, dear scribe, there was an empire of people, or perhaps only belief, an empire of brain-eaters, soul-wasters. They called themselves Illithids, the flayers of minds. The children of Gith were bowed, bent in service to the flayers, a passionate people made to serve a cold belief. The flayers were untouchable, their minds a great oppressor. No proud will or passion could break Gith's children free. Until at last, a reckoning, its source unknown, its power unproven, but its events history-making. The cowed would not be cracked. Gith's children fought back, valiantly. Their freedom theirs, the flayers bent, and broken till today. Remember how I said that there was like these books all around the place that kind of tied into each of the characters? That one's Lae'zel's. Oral Histories of Faerun, The Spell Plague. A cracked and well-worn volume showing passage through many hands. This book is comprised of several chapters, one for each cited source, yada yada yada, it's the same as the last one. Chapter 25, Cornelius and Tomelius Worthywort, halflings encountered on the Golden Road, south of Innerlith. I met the brothers, or rather they found me, in the lower pass through the Firesheer Mountains. They had encountered a trail of golden discs along the path, and had resolved to gather and return them to whatever fool had more coin than common sense. It was to our mutual embarrassment, then, that I removed my cloak to reveal my patchwork yellow hide. It was molting season, I explained, and a traveler on the road had not the luxury to shed their scales in private, as would be proper. I suspect they knew too little of Dragonborn to be appropriately disgusted, and instead invited me to sup with them. Over a roadside fire, I learned of the purpose behind their journey. Cornelius. Lurien, my lad. Our ancestral home, it was lost during the spell plague. Tomelius. Weren't nothing lost, Con. It's not Nan's Lucky Nashers, is it? It sank. Wasn't I there when the blue fire took it? Sure, what do you remember? You were knee-high to a gnome. I remember you crying. Maybe it was you that sank the place. Going back to finish the job. Watch that lip, lest I fatten it. Only a fool speaks ill of his homeland. Their brows were bristling dangerously, and so I diverted hostilities by speaking of my own people's ancestral home, the blighted world of Abier, and the 1,000-year tyranny of dragons we lived under, until the blue fire of the spell plague brought us to this world. Right. Another potato. There we go. Personal account, an old brittle slate reflecting on dark events and missed opportunities. It is unsigned. In Ketheric, I see our failures made manifest. He did not fall, he was pushed. His grief was twisted by shadow, and still we did not act, until his light was all but snuffed. Big spoiler warning, Ketheric is a major enemy in this game. He is someone that we come across later, and that is the first mention of his name that we get. But he is also has an extremely tragic story. If you kind of play through the game and just do the things that you're kind of supposed to do, he just seems kind of like a dick. But if you find these things and learn more about him along the way, it becomes really, really incredibly sad. Recruitment poster. Printed on high-quality parchment, this poster encourages people to join the Flaming Fist in Baldur's Gate. A man and woman stand side by side in armor emblazoned with a red fist, surrounded by flames. Find pride and purpose in the Flaming Fist. Join today and protect Baldur's Gate. Led by Grand Duke Alder Ravengard himself, you'll be tasked with guarding the city streets, protecting its people, and upholding the laws that govern us. Speak to any of our friendly fists throughout the city, or visit our headquarters at the Sea Tower of Balduron to find out how you can blaze a new career path today. Literally just there to describe, like, what the fists are. Scribbled note, a warning note urging people not to feed Tuffet. Keep away from Tuffet. She's lazy enough as it is. Great. Thank you for that. Sightings record. Detailed records of fauna in the area with detailed notes about owl bears. A long list of owlbear sightings in the region, separated by date. The latest entry, written a 10-day ago, says cub. The word is underlined several times. Soul Coins a treatise. This red leather cover of this manuscript is stamped with a grotesque sigil bearing resemblance to a screaming face. This research was funded independently and conducted at a site in Avernus, the first plane of the 9 hells. Candlekeep does not encourage or promote the entrapment of mortal souls. Soul coins as a concept are one of merciless simplicity, the sum of personal and magical essence. The soul is bound into a minted piece of infernal iron and used as currency by devils and their cohort. They are frequently traded. For their value can purchase mercenaries, magical items, and even fuel the strange engines in the hells. Remember how I mentioned that each of these, there's a book that ties into every NPC? Karlax. However, there is a fascinating culture surrounding soul coins as well. I spoke to a devil who admitted she has one coin that she will never sell, for it was the bargain that got her promoted out of Lemure status. She connected me to a half-elf warlock who had promised his soul to a coin after death. I was able to look at his contract, which is reproduced below. The next 50 pages appear to be a painstakingly written legal document in Infernal with a headache-inducing number of footnotes. I hate the devils in this game, but their use of language and contracts, like, they're basically lawyers, and it just cracks me up. But yes, she hasn't divulged this information yet, but soul coins are specific to Karlach. Once she lets us know how to use them, we can then take these coins and feed them to her. It powers her up for the remainder of the extended rest. Stamped handbill, a tattered, well-handled bill posted to recruit adventurers. A scuffed handbill stamped with an extravagant seal boldly proclaims, "Adventurers wanted, for perilous and profitable quest. Master Leroican, the Arcanist of Athkatla, the recluse of Ramazith's Tower, seeks brave and enterprising individuals to delve treacherous temple and recover storied artifact. The Night Song, for preservation in Baldur's Gate. Only stout of heart and keen of mind need apply. Fame, glory, and incredible fortune assured." The Annals of Baldur's Gate, a history of the city of Baldur's Gate as told with a bard's flair. Printed for the masses, this is no scholarly record. Preface. Centuries ago, a young man sailed from the village of Grey Harbor. Where he went, what he saw, and the deeds he accomplished are simple legends today, but the wealth he returned with years later is a hard fact. Balduron made Grey Harbor rich. His gold built docks, founded businesses, and raised strong walls to protect it all. One of the gates into this flourishing city was named in his honor, but so great was the wealth that flowed through it, that the name of the gate became more famous than the village that started it all. The name Grey Harbor has been relegated to dusty history books and ancient maps, but Baldur's Gate, that name, is on the lips of every traveler in Faerun. Little interesting backstory about a very interesting character in this game. The Devil You Know, an autobiography. A slim volume, pages dog-eared from use. Have you ever had a god change your blood? It is a horrifying thing, even for those who may desire it. Yet few tieflings wished for Asmodeus to claim their bodies, only to be given no choice in the matter. It is not as if we were well loved before the Archdevil's gambit. Our people have always struggled against the notion of devilkin, as if a single drop of infernal ichor inescapably corrupts. How amusing, when so many others willingly sell their souls to fiends, yet their culture as a whole escapes the blame. By what method can we redeem ourselves, when the crime is not ours? I would drive a blade into every warlock that aided Asmodeus's damned ritual, but personal vengeance cannot undo the will of a god, much less one as slippery as the Lord of Lies. When every passerby thinks you a thief and heretic, it is deeply tempting to become one. The only thing that has stopped me is knowing Asmodeus wants nothing more than for all of us to fall from grace. Little backstory on why tieflings are the way they are. The evil eye. If one looks at the eyes etched into this cover long enough, they appear to blink. Creepy as hell. Oh, this one's fun. I like this one. That's a good one to end on. So this one's all about hags. While the number of trinkets and bargains a hag personally acquires means that her powers will be unique compared to that of her sisters, hags as a whole can still be divided into 3 subcategories. Night hags, named as such for their ability to haunt a mortal's dreams, slowly devouring vital essence until the victim's soul can be trapped into the hag's soul bag. They are known for being petty, selfish braggarts. Sea hags, known for devouring their victims whole, sea hags can terrorize and kill with a single look. They reek of fish and are incapable of making a proper cup of tea. This last line is a bit of foreshadowing. I'm not going to spoil it. Most of you probably already know what I'm referring to, but it gives you some insight into a future something. Green hags. They are beautiful, they are powerful, speak not a word against them. And that is it. That is all. All I got to say about that. That is it. Thank you everyone that has hung out this long and joined us for my reading session at the end of this. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. I love this game. But please join the Discord to see when we'll be on next. Catch this video on YouTube and any other videos that we've created in the past. This whole series is going up as a, how-to beat honor mode, which I think some of you might find interesting or beneficial, or I hope you will anyways. Thank you for hanging out, Alec. Thank you, Dark, for everything as always. Anyone else that I put to sleep, I hope you guys are dreaming nicely. Alrighty, everyone, let's go say hi to a new friend. You have yourselves a great night. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you soon.